Welcome to our session today. Take control of your finances. My name is Amy, and I am one of our financial education specialists in our financial empowerment department. At Summit Credit Union, we believe financial success happens together, and it starts with the right tools, knowledge, and resources, much like this webinar that we're providing to you today. We wanted to ask you a question as we got started today. How do you manage your money? For many of us, this is very individualistic. Some of us know where every penny is going, and some of us aren't quite sure where our money goes every single month. But no matter where you are and how you manage your money, or how good you are at your personal finances, we can help you learn to take control of those finances. Oftentimes, we know that you lead lives of convenience. You are busy running from work to lots of different commitments that you have after work to try to figure out what to do for that dinner time. And oftentimes, you're running to the store. We can help you figure out if it is time for a change. Our members come to us every single day because they're looking for advice, not only to move forward with their finances, but sometimes they just need some help or some guidance or the nudge in the right direction. So, I have a couple of questions for you. Have you recently established some financial goals? Or if you have established financial goals, have you checked in on them lately? Do you currently track your expenses? If so, is that working for you or is it more of a chore? Have you become a planner when it comes to your finances, meaning that maybe you use automatic transfers to be able to move money into savings accounts? Maybe you know exactly how long it'll take you to pay off that car loan, or how long it will take you to save for that vacation. What we encourage you to do is to watch your progress and adjust when you need to, because we all know that every 2 weeks are never the same when it comes to our money. So let's first talk a little bit about how you can establish goals. There are three types of money goals that you can create. Number one is a goal to save more money. Number two is a goal to decrease the amount of debt that you have. And a third goal could be how to manage your money better. Anytime that you want to reach a goal, you want to create some action steps. And you have to be in the right mindset. You can't simply say that you want to save more money. You really need to determine how long you want to save and how much each time that you get paid you are going to be putting aside. I'd love for you to stop this video, reflect for the next 60 seconds on what you can do for some financial goals that you would like to work on in the future. When you're ready, go ahead and unpause this webinar and continue on. Another thing that we wanted to share with you was that you can take your goals and turn them into short-term goals, anywhere from 1 to 3 years, which might work for a dream vacation, or maybe saving for a home improvement, or long-term goals, anything from 5 to 10 plus years. That could be retirement, that could be a kid's financial education. Either way, we encourage people to be working on multiple financial goals at once. You could be working on saving for that vacation, building that emergency fund, and saving for retirement, all with a very specific plan. When you're working on writing down your goals, here are three key things to remember: the amount of money that you need, the time frame in which you need it by, and the amount of money that you want to put aside each time that you get paid to reach that goal. It needs to be realistic and it needs to be attainable for your specific situation. If you can't afford to put $100 away, more than likely you're going to be digging into that $100 to be able to pay for things instead of saving it if you're not budgeting your money correctly. At Summit, we really recommend that someone track their expenses and create a budget to help them reach those financial goals. When you have specific categories or reasons why you're going to be spending your money every single month with limits, you can reach your goals quicker. And a lot of times that has a lot to do with tracking your expenses. So let's dig into tracking your expenses a little bit more. One of the tools that we have for you is our daily expense worksheet. Members often use this tool, downloadable from our website, under the Learn section and under Worksheets, to give themselves a really good written visual idea of where they're spending their money. You can put this into categories and even change the categories on the worksheet if you want to. I would recommend starting with 1 week, then going to 2 weeks, then even going to a month. Add up the categories, make it your own, and really understand how much you're spending on gas, groceries, household goods, and other expenses such as entertainment, groceries, and eating out. I recommend tracking for 2 weeks to get a good estimate of where you are spending your money and how much you are spending. Wanted to share this story from Elaine. She was one of our members a few years ago who shared with us that she often stopped at a gas station to pick up a few things, especially coffee in the morning, some snacks, and maybe even lunch for throughout the day, and then again when her son needed to go to football practice. She really didn't realize how much this habit was actually costing her because she was really looking at it as a convenience. Well, she really set aside the amount of money that she was spending at the grocery, or excuse me, at the gas station into her savings account. But she did this as well by adding those types of things to her grocery list. This saved her money, saved her a trip, and she was able to economize how much money she was spending in her budget. This simple act of changing where she was doing her spending actually helped her track her expenses better and helped her build new financial habits. Let's talk a little bit about how you can set a spending limit, a budget, and a plan. All things that we know really work when you're looking to take control of your finances. So, what you might want to do is download our worksheet called the Budget Worksheet, also under the Learn section and under Worksheets at our website at summitcreditunion.com. You'll notice when you open up this Excel worksheet that on the very top, you can remind yourself what goals you are prioritizing your money for. Now, this worksheet has a now column, meaning where you are spending your money now, and a future column. And that really means that what you can do is you can move the money around between different categories to find the right fit for you. So maybe you reduce your grocery budget by $25 and you move that $25 over into a savings row so that you're saving money for an emergency. Using this tool to be able to really move your money around, understand how much you're spending in total, will really help you create a budget, spending limits, and a plan because you can hold yourself accountable to everything that's written down on that budget. Another thing we really wanted to share with you was giving you the thought process behind when do you use credit and is it costing you money or saving you money? Many of us often use and pull out our credit cards when we're short on cash, or we might be doing it to get the discounts or the points that are associated with that credit card. And of course, many of us are unable to afford a $400 emergency. And so maybe you're even pulling it out for the rock that hits your windshield, which means that your windshield is cracked and you have to have the repair person come out to be able to replace your windshield. That could be a couple $100. Maybe it's a nail in your tire. Maybe it's a medical expense that you weren't expecting. Maybe it was a big urgent care bill or even something else that happened. So I want you to think about when you use credit and if there's an alternative to using credit. More and more, what we're seeing in our branches is that if people do some mindful spending, thoughtfulness exercises with their budget, they can actually reduce their budget and reduce the amount of money that they're spending on credit cards. So, let me give you 5 tips for mindful spending. Number one is if you open up multiple savings accounts for irregular expenses, it can actually help you save up money over time so that you're not stuck and kind of feeling like you're going to be stretched if you do have an unexpected expense. This might be something like an oil change or some beauty or self care activity that you do. Um, Another tip for mindful spending is also being able to avoid emotional spending. If we're feeling down, if we're hungry, those are 2 times when we should avoid spending because a lot of times when we spend money on something that we feel like is solving a problem or we feel like is going to make us look better, we get a little bit of a high and then we feel better and we become addicted to that type of emotional spending. The third thing is really important. Shop with a plan that includes those lists, staying away from the dollar section at those certain stores that kind of reel you in with the cheap gadgets when you first walk in the door. Making sure that you reevaluate your cart at the end of a shopping trip to see if anything extra popped into your cart just because it was on sale or it hadn't made your list, or maybe you think that you should buy in bulk now to avoid spending money later. The other tip that we have for you is to shop with cash or to shop with your debit card. A couple of things I wanted to share with you today about tips for savings. Now, there's a couple of things that are really important, and I talked about this a couple minutes ago, but it's establishing multiple savings accounts. And at Summit Credit Union, you can actually open up multiple savings accounts underneath your main account number. I also recommend that you look for low minimum balances, meaning less than $100 that you need to have for a minimum in your savings account. Use automatic transfers, which can be set up in online banking or in your mobile app. And I really want you to think about starting to invest your money, talking with a Summit financial advisor, or even opening up an individual retirement account through the credit union to be able to do that. Now, I also wanted to give you 5 tips for mindful debt settlement. And this is really important because what we want you to learn is that more and more people are accumulating debt and it's costing them more and more every month in interest rates. So it's important for you to know how much you owe. What I highly recommend you do is take a piece of paper out and write down all of the credit cards and loans that you have on a piece of paper. Or you can do this in an Excel spreadsheet if you want to start moving things around by priority. I'd like you to put down the interest rate, the balance that you have, the credit limit that you have, and what your minimum payment currently is. What we strongly recommend is you work on the lowest balanced debt first to be able to pay that off and take the minimum balance that you're paying on that, plus a little bit extra that you had been paying just to pay it off, and move that to the second lowest balance loan. This is going to help you reallocate your money. It's going to help you pay off debt quicker, especially since it's in a lower amount. And it's going to create something that we call the debt snowball. So picture, you're making a snowball and you want to make a snowman and you're rolling the snow around and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? That is the debt snowball. What we're looking to do is we're looking to have a really big minimum payment to be able to pay off that debt, to be able to tackle that interest rate. And sometimes you can even use bi-monthly payments to be able to reduce the amount of money that you're paying on interest and be able to pay off that loan even faster. If you are looking for more information about how to pay off your debt and take control of your finances, we do have other resources on our website at summitcreditunion.com. Another thing that we wanted to share with you is it's always important to seek advice, especially when it comes to refinancing or consolidating any debt that you have to be able to have lower interest rates. So I want you to think about talking with a Summit financial advisor or a Summit financial coach to figure out what options you may not have considered in both the savings and the debt areas. If you are working with creditors to pay off any collections or any late payments that you have, I highly recommend talking with them, finding out how you can maybe make adjustments or different type of agreements when you want to pay off those creditors. It's always better to talk to them than to ignore them. And number 3 is I highly recommend that we have someone to hold you accountable to your financial goals and make them visible as well in your home. One of the last things we wanted to share with you today about taking control of your finances is being able to have you watch your progress and make adjustments. A couple of things that you can do for that is to monitor your progress through online banking, through the mobile app, through our financial wellness tools located inside online banking and our mobile app, and then also using those 2 visual worksheets that I talked about, the daily expense worksheet and the budgeting worksheet. So remember in the beginning when I had you reflect about what you might want to set a financial goal to be? Now, as we end our program, I would really like you to think about what you can change when it comes to your finances. Is it that you want to establish or reestablish financial goals? Maybe set a commitment to track expenses, become a planner by really looking at how long it will take you to save for something or to pay off a piece of debt that you have, and be able to really do the math to figure out how many months, how much are you willing to pay, and how much is available in your budget. And then again, I highly recommend that you watch your progress and adjust. A couple of things that you can do is use that budget worksheet and set alerts on your phone as well. So as we end our session today, I highly recommend that as you close out this session from your browser, that you take a couple of minutes and think about what your action plan will be moving forward. Thank you so much for your time today. And if you have any questions or would like to be connected with a financial coach, please email us at summitfinancialeducation@summitcreditunion.com. Thank you.